This is my presentation about the process of digestion. So digestion starts at the mouth, which is scientifically known as the buccal cavity. Before we've even started eating, our salivary glands are producing saliva, which contains an enzyme called amylase, and this helps to break down carbohydrates in our foods and turn them into glucose. When food enters our mouth, we chew it up into smaller pieces and more saliva is produced, which helps to chemically break down the food. Food is swallowed in our pharynx, which is then transported down to our esophagus. And the esophagus is a muscular tube which uses contractions called peristalsis to help push the food down to our stomach. The stomach is a hollow organ which holds our food. It acts like an acid bath because the cells of the stomach secrete acid, which, along with another enzyme called protease, helps break down the protein within our food and turn it into all the necessary amino acids that we need. This acid, along with the protease, turns the broken down food into a slushy mixture known as chyme. Uh, the liver is one of the most crucial organs within digestion due to it having multiple functions. The main function of the liver is to process blood containing nutrients that is absorbed by our small intestine. As well as this, the liver produces a substance called bile, which is secreted into our small intestine and helps to break down the fats in our food. It does this with the help of another enzyme called lipase. Our liver is known as our chemical factory because it takes raw materials absorbed by our intestines and uses them to make all the various chemicals our body needs. The liver also helps to detoxify any potential harmful chemicals that may be found in our blood. Next to our liver is the gallbladder, which is a storage sac used to store any excess bile that is produced. Bile is transported to our small intestines through bile ducts. However, if the small intestines don't need the full amount of bile that's produced, it will travel to the gallbladder until next time fats enter our body. Bile has two main functions. The first is to help absorb and break down fats, and the second is to carry waste from our liver that can't go through our kidneys. The pancreas is an important endocrine and exocrine gland, meaning that it secretes products both directly into the bloodstream and also through ducts. During digestion, the pancreas secretes all the enzymes we need, including amylase, protease, and lipase, into our small intestine through the pancreatic duct. This is why the pancreas is known as our enzyme factory. Another organ that has an important role within digestion is our kidneys. Our kidneys help to extract any waste from our blood, as well as helping to balance our bodily fluids. Our kidneys are also responsible for forming urine, and help to aid in other important functions around our body. The small intestine is where most of the digestion and absorption takes place, specifically in the first part of the small intestine, which is called the duodenum. Our small intestine is like a blender or NutriBullet because it liquidizes any of the food that hasn't been fully broken down yet, turning it into a slushy mixture. It is also important because it has the role of extracting good and bad things within the food we eat. Good things such as nutrients, vitamins and minerals, and bad things like waste products and harmful bacteria and chemicals. Moving on to the large intestine, which is connected to our small intestine by the cecum, the main function of our large intestine is to absorb water and ions from food that is passed on from the small intestine. It also helps store and transport waste. Any food that has not been digested will reach our large intestine. The final part of digestion happens in the rectum and anus. Foods and contents that cannot be digested and absorbed properly will have to be extracted as feces. The rectum sends a signal to our brain telling it that there is contents that need to be excreted. This signal will then that signal is then what makes us need to use the toilet.